Hello, lovely children. I'm happy to come your way once again. Today, we are going to talk about forces and energy. And to be specific, we will look at sources of electricity. By the end of the lesson, you will know where we get electricity from that we use at home to power our gadgets. In our lesson today, we will be meeting new words, and we call them keywords. The first keyword is source or sources. This is where something can be obtained, where we can obtain something. Renewable. This is something that can be reused over and over. Non-renewable. This is something that cannot be reused. It is used once and that is all. In our previous lesson, we learned about electricity and how it works in an electronic circuit. So, I have here a simple electronic circuit which was built out of the battery, the wires, as you can see. We have the switch and then the LED bulb or the bulb, you can see. So when I turn on the switch, you can see that the LED turns on. Can you see? Yes. My question to you is, from the circuit, which component produces electricity for the light or LED bulb to turn on? Can you guess? Is it a switch? Is it a battery? Is it a wire? Or the LED itself? Good! It's the battery. So we can say that the battery is the source of electricity for the circuit. Imagine living in a home where you try to switch on the TV and it doesn't turn on. Or you try to turn on the refrigerator but it doesn't turn on. Or you try to turn on the light, it doesn't come on. What do you think? Yes, this means that electricity is not flowing through for your things or your gadgets to turn on. So we are going to look at some of the sources where we can get electricity in order to use in our various homes. One example is the solar. We all know what solar is. This is the electricity that we get from the sun. The next one is hydropower. This is the electricity that we get from water. The next one is the windmill. I think you can easily guess. That is from the wind. Very good. Now, let's look at other examples. We have alkaline cell, We also have fossil fuels, which includes diesel, petrol, kerosene, and others. Now let's talk about these sources. Let's pick the first one, which is the solar, the electricity that we get from the sun. In order to get electricity from the sun, we use what we call solar panels to trap the heat or energy from the sun and turn it into electricity, which we use in powering the gadgets or electrical items in our homes. Imagine using a solar. What do you think? Do you pay for electricity bills? No. It lasts longer and you can use it over and over. Let's look at the hydro, or the electricity that we get from water. One typical example is the Akosombo Dam. The Akosombo Dam uses water to turn turbines to help produce electricity. So the use of water can also be used to generate electricity. So anytime we have water in our rivers, we can use it to produce electricity, which we call the hydropower. So this also can last or can be used over and over. Let's look at the windmill. The windmill also uses the force from the wind to produce electricity. And do we pay for the wind? No, we don't pay for it. It blows all the time. So when the wind blows and we have our windmill in line, we can produce electricity, and this can be used over and over. So these three sources of electricity are known as the renewable sources of electricity. This is because they can be used over and over. Now let's look at the other side. Let's look at the alkaline cell, which of course are the batteries that we use in our phones, also in our torchlights, and also for our Walkman. These are the alkaline batteries. This one is used in our phone or in our various phones. This, I believe, you've seen them before. These are also used in our torchlight or in our simple electronic circuits. The next one are the fossil fuels or the fossils. The first one is diesel, petrol, and kerosene. I have in my hand kerosene. This also can be used to produce electricity alongside the diesel and the petrol. These sources of electricity are used once and can never be replaced. So when you use the diesel in your father's car, if your father uses diesel in his car, you only use it once, you don't renew it. All you do is you buy a new one to replace. If your father uses a kerosene lantern. You use it once, and all you have to do is to buy a new one to replace. You cannot use it over and over. So these sources of electricity are known as non-renewable sources of electricity. So children, now we can see the difference between renewable sources of electricity and non-renewable sources of electricity. The ones that can be used over and over, then the ones that can be used once and they need to be replaced. You cannot use the petrol you bought over and over. You need to replace it by buying a new gallon. All these sources of electricity can be used in our various homes. We can use the sun to produce electricity for our homes. We can use the hydropower. We can use the windmill. We can use the alkaline cells. You can use the fossil fuels. We can put the diesel or petrol in our generators to produce electricity. Children, now look around you and try to identify some of the sources of energy that you use at home and try to group them under renewable sources of electricity and non-renewable sources of electricity. Till I come your way again, I say bye-bye.